Hi, friends. Let's talk about comfort. It feels good, doesn't it? Safety, stability, ease, it's what we often strive for in life. But here's the thing comfort can also become a cage. Comfort can feel like the ultimate goal safety, stability, and ease. But what happens when comfort keeps us from stepping into something greater? Too much comfort can become a cage, trapping us in routines and fears that limit our potential. When we cling too tightly to what's comfortable, we risk staying stuck. The routines that feel safe can start to limit us, keeping us from growing, exploring, and becoming who we're meant to be. So, how do we know when comfort is holding us back? And more importantly, how do we break free? Breaking free requires courage and intentionality. It's about recognizing when comfort is no longer serving you and being willing to take risks. Growth lies just outside of the boundaries of what feels safe. Let's start with why comfortable feels so appealing. It's predictable, familiar. It lets us avoid the risks that come with change. But the very change that make comfort feel safe can also trap us. I remember a couple of times when I realized I was stuck in a cage of my own making. The first was in high school. I was a smart kid and wanted to grow up and do amazing things in this world. At the time, that was to become a research biologist and find a cure for AIDS. The problem was, I was not comfortable in my skin, nor was I comfortable with advocating for myself. Actually, I had let my big brothers take care of that job for me, and I never developed the inner strength and confidence to do it on my own. I knew I needed that ability, regardless of what the future held. So I made a huge decision. I joined the Army National Guard. I counted on Army basic training being the thing I needed to find and to use my own voice. Another time was when I was an adult. I'd built a life that felt predictable, a routine that worked but didn't challenge me really. Deep down, I knew I wasn't growing and probably not inspiring growth in others. But the idea of stepping into something new, it felt overwhelming. What if I failed? What if I wasn't ready? Then the pandemic came and thrust all of us out of our comfort zones. I used that time to learn new skills, write a couple books, and reimagine how to do ministry moving forward in a new world. I realized that it was time to share the how of growing spiritually and emotionally. It's scary to put myself out there on social media, a podcast, and here on YouTube. But here's the truth. The longer we stay in the comfort cage, the smaller it feels. What starts as a comfort zone can shrink over time, making it harder and harder to step out. I had to ask myself, am I living or am I just existing? When I finally decided to take a leap and try new ways to serve, I discovered something incredible. Outside the cage of comfort, there's freedom, there's growth, there's a life waiting to be lived. Sometimes life forces us out of our comfort zones. You may have a similar experience from the pandemic, or perhaps from a significant loss in your life. There are a lot of ways this life can yank the carpet out from under us, and we are left to find our footing in a new context. Other times, life can get so routine and predictable that we no longer have to think or dig deeply. That predictable routine can feel like a cozy blanket enveloping us. It could also become a cage, preventing us from growing. Breaking free isn't about throwing away everything you know. It's about recognizing when comfort has become a cage. It's about being honest with yourself. Are you staying put because it's truly what's best for you, or because it feels easier than taking a risk? Every time I've stepped out of my comfort zone, I've learned something new about myself. I've grown in ways I never thought possible. And yes, it was scary at first, but every step forward made the cage seem smaller and the world outside seem bigger. So here's my challenge for you. Identify one area in your life where comfort might be holding you back. Is it a routine, a mindset, or even a relationship? Take one small step toward breaking out of that cage. Maybe it's signing up for a class you've been putting off. Maybe it's having a conversation you've avoided. Whatever it is, remind yourself that the discomfort of change is temporary, but the growth it brings is lasting. If this resonates with you, I dive deeper into these ideas in my book, Pursuing Uncomfortable, Lean In, and Overcome. It's filled with tools to help you step out of the comfort cage and into the life you're meant to live. It also tells the pivotal story of my Army experience that changed everything for me. And be sure to check out my blog for more reflections on growth and transformation in the Filled in 5 and Cuppa playlists. And finally, don't forget to hit subscribe and join me for my next video where I talk about seeing obstacles as opportunities. Until next time, remember, comfort might feel safe, but life begins when you step outside of the comfort cage.